Hey, hey. Do do do. Hi.
Hi.
Detangling of knots.
Why do I hear you through my phone now?
Do do do. Detangling
I don't know
of
if I necessarily like
knots.
that because of the mic.
Okay, Linda, I need you to touch the there's a video camera icon at the bottom of the screen here, Linda, because it's not letting me touch your name. Ba ba ba. Detangling of knots. Do do do. Detangling of knots. I want to touch Linda's name, and it's not letting me do that. Linda. Does she have to have like certain settings? I wonder. Because that'd be funny. Oh,
You shouldn't.
there
I
she
don't.
is. Nope, she's here.
Okay.
Do do do. Detangling of knots. Do do do.
Hey, Linda.
Linda.
Hi.
Hey.
So I'll put this.
Uh, 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 Hi. How are you?
Good.
Good. Okay, guys. So Linda is who I would consider a good friend at this point with me and Kate. We work together on many things. We've worked together separately. We've worked together in a group. We've worked together. Tara says, hey. We work together on lots of stuff. I have some stories on YouTube where Linda, we were working together and we had to take apart the GFL and we've there's so many story times I can't even go into it. There's tons. So we wanted to ask you a few questions, have you on, and talk to you a little bit about your journey.
Good.
Good. Kate, you want to start?
Okay. So, Linda, what made you start wanting to be spiritual? Like, where did it all start?
Um, about 6 months ago, I got the spark off of TikTok, and that kind of drove me in different areas, and that's where I started, was watching TikToks.
How did you, what brought you to TikTok? Like, what got you to get the app?
Um, I think my granddaughter, because she wanted me to get on her TikTok, and then I saw some gardening stuff, and um, then it just kind of blossomed from there. But I think the start was she wanted me to watch her TikToks.
How did, how did you find us?
Once I started seeing on that spiritual side, then more people would come in, and then I would just uh, join people that I resonated with. And yeah.
But if you've always had trouble with like the spiritual sight and the spiritual, like the feeling and stuff, just for curiosity reasons, why? I mean, of course we work well together, so I know like bigger picture why, but why? Why'd you keep
I
coming back to us?
just that knowing that that was the direction I needed to go. I like even on my For You page, I have a knowing when somebody pops up and I resonate with them, and then I'll check them out further and that kind of thing. But it's really I'm just driven that way internally, knowing.
And I know that when you go to research something, you research the heck out of it. Like whether, you go down the rabbit holes, so to speak. I can't tell you how many times I've been like, well, Linda's in that playlist today, okay.
Yeah, I do
Uh,
devote a good amount of time on things.
yeah. Kate, you had some questions specifically.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's deep enough, like to, I don't know, like with the, how did you find us? It's like, what was the turning point? I guess it's like you said you went on TikTok for your granddaughter. But then how did you find the spiritual side? It just happened?
I think it just came in my For You page. Then once you start looking in that direction, and if you add someone, then you get more of that. I think that's how it
Yeah,
just kind of snowballed.
but I know that when I started TikTok, it was like, you're a woman in your 30s and you're a mom, so here's the TikTok we think is for you. And then, like, my mom, who's very open-minded, um, loves all the same kind of like mediums on TV, and she likes those kind of like the Hunger Games and things like this. Everything that I'm about, but she is not over on our side of TikTok. That is for sure. She is on
Mhm.
like dancing TikTok and things like this.
Um, I think the purpose inside of me, because when I woke, it was like, I got stuff to do. I need
Okay,
to
so
get to it.
this I awoke thing, what happened? What happened?
Um, I, I, I think I just started scheduling with people to kind of see, like, I knew that, I needed to get farther than where I was. And I did have a really big, when I woke, I really did have a big thing of, I have a lot to do and I need to get going on it. So the driving force behind that. And then once I found you, it was just like, I learned so much, and then that would spread out. And then I would look into things, and when you start something new, then you realize how much you really don't know, and then you try to find other stuff
Move your
to
head for
know.
just a moment. What, let me see that art behind you. Do you know that that art piece was in my bedroom above my bed when I went through my awakening? Like that exact piece. I don't have it
Wow.
anymore. I had it like that exact print in my room in 2015 or 16 when the fear plug came out of me, that fear cord.
Yeah, I've had that for quite a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just find that fascinating. I don't know. I just like it. Just like it.
The one lone tree with shadow trees in the back.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I didn't know why I liked it. Like, yes.
Why do you like it?
Um, I know why I like it. Linda, why do you like it?
It's very peaceful, and I grew up in the Midwest, and it's kind of wintry looking, and
It is wintry looking.
it's calming, and I am drawn to it.
Hmm.
I love that it was very contrasty because I like contrasty things. I like that
Mhm.
I like something that seems like it's alone when it's not alone. It's surrounded by stuff. I liked that it looked wintry, even though I grew up in Florida, so I wasn't around snow at all. It's quite large. It's a pretty large print. I like that as well.
I have that picture in my bathroom. That's why I'm asking.
Do you?
I don't know why. It's like one lone tree and then shadow trees in the back. I don't
What size is yours and why haven't I seen it before?
like this big. Shaden, did you hang it in my bathroom? This bathroom? I've had it in my bathroom for like 10 years, and I think when I moved here, did you ever put the picture of the tree? It's in there? Is it above the
I've
toilet?
n I've never seen it.
Are you sure you put it in there?
No, your whole bathroom's Dior.
Yeah.
There's
See,
no
he
tree
thinks
in
it's in
there.
there too because every single bathroom we've ever had has had that picture in it, and then for whatever reason, he didn't hang it in this one. It is in there? Where?
I've never
It
seen
is
it in
above the
there.
toilet. Okay.
I've never seen it in there. What do
It's just
you
like
like
that.
about it?
It's like that big.
What do you
I
like
got
about it?
it because it was calm. It just calm. It looked calm to me,
Hmm.
Huh.
and that was it. That's the only reason I liked it. It had a black border and it had glass. It's like a 3D picture
Yeah, it's got that little like
layer.
indent on the edge.
Yeah.
Yep. I
Yep.
like that too. Yep,
And
it was like a canvas kind of like it had something different about it.
yep.
I
And
think it was
that's it.
Target. Isn't it a Target picture?
Yeah, that's where I got mine, Target.
Yeah, I got mine at
Yeah.
Target.
I did not. I
Where did you
think
get
it was
yours?
Hobby Lobby.
That's definitely more you, Kate.
Only
Oh.
the fuck. I forgot some Hobby Lobby sayings. I used to know a bunch of Hobby Lobby sayings.
Do you still go to? No, that's political. I'm not going to go there. Anyway, so there's so many things that the reason I want to have you here and the reason I want to ask you questions and I'm really interested is because there's so many people that are like they think that like you, it's like, oh, there's a lot to get done. But for you, it was a driving force. And
Hmm.
for other people, it's crumbling anxiety, like crippling, like there's too much to do. There's no way I'm ever going to do it. I can't do the things. Um, how did you ever have a moment where you were like, this is just beyond me? Or did you just kind of know?
No, no crumbling. Uh, I think because I'm older and I'm really stable in where I am and that kind of thing, it may
Mm-hmm.
have been easy. I don't know. I did deal with stuff along the way, and I don't know. I think I started in a good place, and when things come, I just take them, which is what I do in everything. I just, well, let's fix it. Let's get there. Let's do it.
Okay, so I know that we do that. We advocate for that. The like, if something comes up, just take care of it right now. How do you put that into Linda terms? Even in a business way. How do you put that in a way of like, when it just comes up, I just fix it? What does that mean to you?
Um, I look at the time, like in my business, I look at the time frame. How much do I need to fix this? And then it kind of fits in. It's kind of all like a puzzle. Like, okay, well, I can't do this today, but I can do it tomorrow. And because I work on deadlines and not hours, then it gives me more flexibility to move things around. And I like if something comes up for me, then I try all the stuff that I need to do, and I just kind of throw a whole bunch of stuff at it to try to, if I have physical stuff going on, and that usually will hold it off until like because it's a big thing, and then I need to schedule with you and you know get get it taken care of. So for a lot of that, it's just managing until I get um, to where we can put the puzzle together so that it's resolved. It feels more like that.
Kate, did you ever have a time frame? Did you ever think that there was a timer? I had a timer.
No, I never
Yeah.
did have one.
I had a timer. I thought I had 2 years. When I did the yin yang story time, when I did that and the boulder thing split and it ripped the space time continuum, and then I was doing past life sessions, and in all the past lives, without them knowing about it, we'd see the rip in the sky,
Yeah,
and then I thought I had 2 years,
um,
and I
because we used
didn't.
to.
We did.
We did used to have 2 years. I think we've looked at that before, and it's like there was a lot of used tos
Yeah,
before we healed the things.
healed enough to where it's not. Because I know that this world would be a completely different place if all of us didn't do the things. Even
Yeah,
all of us that aren't together anymore, and all of us that haven't met yet.
yeah,
But doing the things has like that's why we're still here. We weren't gonna be here. Like conspiracy theory or not, we weren't gonna be here.
Yeah,
Things have
I don't feel that
changed.
pressure for me anymore.
When did it stop? How did it stop? Did we release a soul contract to it to timer or?
We kind of hit it at a bunch of little different angles, and yeah, I don't feel pressure, or I know that what I need to do I can do in a time frame that I need to do it in, and
When
that
you
everything
fo-
will be fine.
when you focus your work, Linda, do you focus on like because I know that when I work with you or when we work together, we hit like bigger stuff, like dimensional things, we hit astral things, we hit like locations, big like
Uh-huh.
locations. But for your own personal stuff, besides like a pain in your foot or something like this, how do you know what you need, like, how do you know when something needs fixed? How do you know I need to work on this now? Do you see something and it clicks? Do you feel something? Does an emotion come up, a situation? What's your
A lot of
trigger for it?
songs. Usually it's a song or a dream. Sometimes it'll come in my dreams. But a lot of the time it's songs. My spirit guides give me songs, and then I'll look it up, and uh, and then the more that I dive into it, then the bigger it gets, and it's more. So I think I get mine more in songs, and
Your
I'm watching more for more signs.
your songs loop and loop and loop and loop the
A
same like
lot.
song
Yeah, it's
until
like,
it's
okay,
healed
I'm
and
gonna
then it'll
take,
go.
yeah, yeah.
Same
Mhm.
with you, right, Kate?
Yeah, it's pretty
But
incessant.
yours loop for like 5 minutes and then
Hmm.
well sometimes for an hour. And if
It
we
depends.
go we hit the things, we try to hit the things, and then you're like, okay, now the song's like this big.
Hmm. And
So
then
it's
it's like
still there.
the residual, yeah, and then it fades away.
Like
But yours
when the fireflies hit and that song, The Fireflies, it's like when it came in big, it's like I just kept playing it, and then I would transmute it and play it and play it and play it just to kind of get it
Oh.
to a, a, a smaller kind of where I could play it and it wasn't so much.
So hers was
Um,
a transmutation then. It's like a
yeah,
message of transmutation,
yeah.
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
It makes her really emotional as she transmutes whatever the heck she's transmuting, and then it lasts sometimes for weeks with Linda.
But not at that big tense intensity. Not
That the
like
intensity is to get your attention and to start transmuting it, right?
yeah, yeah.
And then you know to pay attention. Do you
Hmm.
find that like because some of the music, like most of the music that gets stuck in your head these days is trending stuff on TikTok. I
Yes,
find that for me too.
yeah. Yeah,
Is
and
it
some
songs
older
that
songs. I've had some older songs that I've heard uh, that weren't on TikTok that I didn't run into, but I do. There are quite a few songs on TikTok that I run into. Like the first time I hear them, I'm like, I really like that, and then I'll get into it more. And then if I keep hearing it, then I'll look into it and look at the words,
if
and
you're
then it
more
just
on
plays.
this if you're more on the spiritual side of TikTok and the plant side and whatever else interest pops up on your feed, how do you hear those trending songs? Are they like all over, or do you think your team literally shoves them in your face?
They are in my face. Because the other day I went to a school and one song that kept looping, there was a little kid sitting by the tree and he's playing that song on his little tablet. It's like, here, yeah, yeah. So it is where I am, and yeah, it just pops up on the radio
Kate,
or wherever.
Mhm.
what do you think it means since we're all on TikTok and that's like the primary thing on TikTok where it's like it just plays songs? Like collectively, we go through. If I watch an old live, we're singing a song that isn't even around anymore. Like
Mhm.
nobody really even talks about it.
It's the
What,
collective
like,
doing it.
I get it's a collective thing, but like, what exactly does it bring up for
That's what I mean. No, like it's the collective doing it. It's like we've healed so much that that's a ripple. The songs
that
are
we do it
ripples.
together?
Yeah. It's like the songs are ripples. Like it reminds me of the plague song that's coming up a lot, and then we had to heal that. You know what I mean? So it's like it all comes in waves, and the fireflies is about light, and for Linda, it was transmuting. For me, it was about fire, and then for somebody else it might be something else, but it's part of the
The only part
ripple.
that keeps looping for me is I'd like to leave.
Yeah, same right now.
Me too.
That's it. I'd
Yep,
like to leave.
yep. Da-dun, da-dun,
Linda,
da-dun.
do
I
you want to go? You don't have to be
I
here.
have
You could
heard
go.
that many, many times this week.
Linda, if you don't want to be here, you could go.
It's not that kind.
Oh, okay. Well, what is it then? I'd
I've
like to
got other stuff
leave.
I have to do. It feels very much
Oh.
like that.
Oh, Linda always has stuff to do.
I I think mine is a past life that I need to get
Oh,
to. Somebody wants to leave.
Who?
I got that for you.
For me?
No, for Linda.
Yeah, that's what I got.
No, I'm talking about the message that I got. It's like I have other stuff to do. So it's like past life. Have you always been like not so we're going into past life stuff right now.
So you kind of, it's like you're focused, but because you're so driven, do you find it difficult to stay in the now moment without thinking of the 5 steps ahead?
Nope, I'm always in the moment.
Really?
I am so in the moment. Unless I'm planning a trip or something, I'll get little snippets of past stuff, but it's always like grandkids and sweet things. It's not anything, but I really am aware of my thoughts and I am really present.
Oh, it's like
Sometimes I'm like, it kind of feels kind of like boring or, it's not, I don't have that. I mean, I take care of what I need to do, but I'm really in the present.
Can it be both?
Both what?
Like you're in the present and you're thinking about the future?
Um, I I think I've mapped my future out already, so I don't even worry about it. I don't even have to think about it because I already know. I might be wrong, and that's okay. But if I think it would, if it were anything, it would maybe be about the past. But
It's really weird because when I go to look at the past, Linda, like I believe you. It's not about like believing you. I more look
uh-huh.
at my site, and my site, like I'll go to look at the past, and it's like loop loop, and then it takes me to the future, and I'll be like, no, no, she said past, and then it goes here. I asked you a question with that cat, and it like
what's
to
that?
pin it, and it, I guess you like didn't get it. I don't know how to see the questions with that exact thing that you pinned.
Oh, okay.
Um, so I don't know. It keeps looping me back to the
Do you know what's
future.
funny, Kate? Is
Huh?
because I saw the questions and I was like, nobody usually asks questions. I should click on that. And then I went, oh yeah, pin. I was supposed to pin it. So you like energetically sent it to me without me opening it. That's fantastic.
Cat, we said cat. Um, so it just, could you listen and type cat? Like, were you listening to that?
Sort of. It was something about the going to the past, but then it loops to the future, but then it looks to,
Yeah.
or no, going to the present, but it loops to the future, but then it loops to the past.
No, it's
Um,
like she keeps saying she thinks it's in the past. So like I was saying, it's not that I don't trust her. It's just I'll go to look at things that people say as they're saying it, and it loops. Like it'll go,
Oh, it took
I'll
her to
go,
my
oh, look at the
future.
past, and it loops over here. It's like, no, no,
when
it's over
we
here.
first got on here, I was singing a song that doesn't exist about detangling. So, Linda, can you do me a favor, say spirit if it's in my highest good?
Spirit, if it's in my highest good,
Please allow me access
please allow me access
to Cat's detangling of roots,
to cat's detangling of roots,
healing,
healing,
to what, past, present, future, my timelines, to this.
to this.
Excuse me. Wow.
I keep getting that song. I can't even remember the name of the guy. Where it's like birds flying high. You know how I feel. Michael Bublé.
You know
Michael
how I
Bublé.
feel.
I love Michael.
Yes.
Michael Bublé.
Michael
It's fun.
Bublé.
Michael Bublé. Michael
Michael
Bublé.
Bublé.
Oh, Bublé. Good old Bublé. Why? Okay, there's something there.
It's a new dawn. It's a new day.
Good old Bublé.
Oh
And
yeah, it is a new dawn. It's a new day.
and I'm
That is the
feeling
song.
good.
Hmm.
Bublé. Bublé.
And I'm feeling Bublé. Dinner, dinner, dinner.
Oh, okay. Spirit, if it's in the highest good,
Spirit, if it's in the highest good,
please allow me access
please allow me access
to Cat's detangling of roots,
to cat's detangling of roots,
healing,
healing,
to the song,
to the song,
communication, and reason
communication and reason
for the season
for the season
between me and my guides.
between me and my guides.
Can you say and your team too?
Yeah.
And
There's a
my team.
guy. There's a guy who looks like he's in like some kind of safari outfit, but he's not one of your guides. He's just there.
Hey, Kate, I didn't tell Kate about who we talked about today, Linda,
Yeah.
and I wanted to see Kate's take on it because I felt them.
They're alive, this guy that's on our team in the safari outfit. I just had to say that.
Oh,
That's
oh,
why
he's
he's
alive,
not.
like he's in a human body right
Mhm.
now.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm listening. To,
I know. I'm trying to figure out if I'm telling you about it or if I'm gonna have her tell you about it. Um,
it's a new dawn.
Go ahead and talk about that. You can say her name if you want to. It doesn't really matter to me because she sounds really cool. So if other people are drawn to her, I'm fine with that. I don't know her personally, but I felt everything while you were talking about her and I felt fine. But would you feel comfortable talking about those three that you were telling me about?
Yeah, that's fine.
I want to see what Kate sees because I was emotional. I felt a lot.
So I did a meet and greet with 3 new guides that one was a female,
3 pillars.
uh, like the peacock feathers, very strong,
One of them was a peacock
tall.
feather. Oh, they look
Yeah.
like a peacock.
Well, that was I don't know if that's what
Kate didn't hear
your,
you. She was focused. You said a meet and greet with 3 new guides, and she looked and she saw 3 pillars, and she went 3 pillars. Got it. While you were still talking, so she didn't hear the rest of it.
okay. So one is a very tall, female, mother figure, Cheshire.
Okay. Cheshire, like Cheshire cat.
No, it's like a mother figure.
Hmm.
I have more detail in my,
Oh, I kind of pulled you out on the spot, and you didn't have your notes on you. Sorry, Linda.
that's okay. I have them right here. Okay, well, I'll go to the second one. It's a 3D spirit guide who, um, is it not good to give her a lot of information or should I give her
No, give her
information?
exactly what you gave me.
Okay, it's my late husband who came back about 5 months ago, and he looks like he's in his 30s.
You the one in the
He
safari outfit?
could be if he's a jokester and he's laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then
He's doing
his name
finger
is Rick.
guns. I don't know what that means
Okay.
to you. Okay.
Okay.
So today she didn't tell me it was her husband. She just said a name, and I was like, "This is husband. This is a husband energy." And she was like, "Yeah, it is. It's my ex."
Okay.
So like it's cool. Anyway,
Well, it's my
finger
late
guns.
husband. He wasn't
Yeah.
my ex. He was my late husband.
Sorry, my apologies.
That's okay. Anyway, so he is on the 3D plane to support me and um, um,
Okay.
and then I have a
I don't think he knows what 3D means because that's why I was
No.
looking up.
on
He's
the
like,
airplane. Oh,
So what I got when she was talking about it was that like it's I know you said that the guide is alive right now. I think he thinks he's alive. I don't think he knows he's dead.
oh, okay. So when he
And
said 3D, he's like, what do you mean?
right, so he's like right here, right now. Right here, right now. And there is no other place I'd rather be. And I also got that like all of the issues and stuff because he wasn't able to focus. He's able to focus now. And then also whatever this lady did that Linda saw, it like it was almost like he was inside a capsule, Kate. I don't know what this is. Is that one of the pillars you were talking about? And a door opened up. And it was like when she removed a blockage, this like this like door opened up and he could like step through it. Like he was stuck. Because he was always with her, but he wasn't like able to communicate and he wasn't able to really be seen until this blockage was removed.
Um, I've never heard of this before, but it looks like a holding place. It would be cliche to say until he was ready, because it's not like that at all. It's like,
No, it's not like someone deemed it to when he
no,
was ready. It's almost like
it
it was
just,
like an AirPod stuck kind of thing. And I don't know if he put himself in there or like I don't think he wanted to pass. I think he wanted to help Linda.
hmm
And
He
then
had a lot of trauma. So he
I think he was
was
confused when he
healing.
died that he was actually dead. I don't even think he knows that he is, if that makes sense.
um, yeah, he's like, I know I'm not living, but it's like a
It's
really
really
weird,
funny.
like he doesn't think he's dead, but he
He's
doesn't
like
think he's
this.
living. Yeah, he's like, I don't think I'm living, but I don't really question it. Like he just kind of, I don't know what this is, but he definitely doesn't think he's dead. This maybe he thinks he's in a dream.
He was really emotional. Like he like whoosh of emotions through me that he was able to actually like communicate with her, help her, do the things for her that he wanted to do when he was alive is the feeling I got from it. So, hey, I want to ask you this then, instead of going into the rest of that part, I want to know what this lady, if it's not too intrusive, when she removed blocks, what did she do? You, Kate, what did she do?
Oh, I thought you were talking to Linda. No,
Nope.
she pulled like this skeleton off of Linda's chest, but it's like supposed to be there. It's like I don't know, it looks like a mucous membrane, like a protective mucous membrane, but I see it all removing from here and it's just like got stripped off. It's like, why would you do that?
It was a DNA healing, like a DNA, because I had a religious belief that held back, um, I think it was religious. Ancestral block on my grandmother's side was religiously based. There was like two parts to that. And that's what prevented the depth perception, getting to, go into space and that kind of thing. That was to help that also.
Did you have trouble with that perception in the first place?
A lot.
Then why would they pull it off the chest? I just don't know why you'd want it gone.
Well,
So
we did it with the second person, but I don't know if we did it with the first person to bring back anything that I didn't get any bad vibes.
I I guess it's like looping me because it's like, why would you do that? Is this a bad thing? Should it be gone? And it's like, it's fine. So whenever I get answers like that, I'm like, well, then why'd you do it? Then why'd you do it? Then why'd you do it? And it just, it's like,
Is there a version of Linda, like you had a version of Kate, that was asking you, like, why the heck would you do that? Is there a version of Linda? Not little Linda, but it might be.
I don't know. This looks like adult Linda. Yeah. Little Linda is to the bottom right of her, though. Hmm. I don't know.
my guide asked her to remove that block.
Okay, so that's why she's standing there. Oh,
My guide.
yeah, ask that chick to remove that block. Hmm. So is it little Linda being like, so why did you do that? So why did you do that? Uh, Spirit of
Was
Snack,
it little Linda's
go.
dinner?
Huh?
Was it her, like, meal? Because
Oh,
she eats trauma?
So was this all like trauma right here and it got ripped off to regrow?
I think so, because I think that Linda was like, why wouldn't you, like, it's not like, why did you do that? It's like, why didn't you have me do it?
Oh, I
Because,
was not aware.
okay, because I called everything back to Linda and it didn't come back. So it's like, okay. So then I had to like channel into it again. And that's when I got I think it's supposed to grow back. I think it was like necrotic skin. Dead, dying.
There's, yeah, like a rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Out of the chest, like Alien versus Predator. Oh, her sacral with the alien tongue.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Solar plex.
Yeah, that's. I know chakras, guys.
It doesn't matter. Names of things don't matter at
They
all.
don't, because I just say this one and that one, and
Um, okay, back to questions. I have questions. Do
yes.
you have any more questions about your guys that you want to ask now that Kate's on the eyes?
Mm,
I feel pretty good about them, but
I feel
they're not
really good
mine.
about them.
So
What about
I'm
the
very
third one?
happy.
I still want to know about
The,
the third one.
okay, the
Just really
third
quick.
one
Yeah, sorry.
is a really strong protector. He is druid energy. Um, when the presence of him put me into I just transmuted. There was so much energy. It was just like bam, it's just so strong. And I transmuted by crying, and that's what happened. It was just like so big.
What on Lord of the Rings? Who's that guy? Is it the dwarf where he's like, "And my axe," and the other one's like, "Here, you can have my bow," but he's an elf.
yeah, it's not. It's the guy with the beard.
Yeah, the axe. Gimli, I think his name is. What is he? I thought it
Um,
was a dwarf or dwarven, maybe. Is that what they call him? That
Probably. I haven't seen it in a while.
I
He's in
know,
like
but
the.
that's exactly what he looks like.
Oh, cool. Um, he felt huge though.
Mm-hmm.
So like, does he
Huge,
look like that but huge because he's not small?
like a tree.
Guides are always huge and small. They're never like
Oh, okay.
they just go like they're not 3D. You know what I mean? Like they're not
Yeah.
humans. They're
It reminded me when Linda was talking about it, it reminded me of one of those big it reminded me of like an anime thing where like the earth is moving through into a mouth and the mouth of the thing looked like a big tiki mask almost.
oh.
But if that could be the beard, if it had all that hair and eyebrows and stuff and the beard, because it was a feeling of it and it was massive.
Uh-huh.
What did
He's
you
really
get from it?
wide. Like really
Yeah, it was
wide.
super wide. It was super
Okay.
wide. What did you get from it, Linda, when she told you about it?
Uh, it was more like it was big, and she couldn't really get a grasp of
Yeah,
how
like a
big because
tree.
it was too big. Yeah, and she did use the word tree, and she did say that he will be with me forever.
That
That
you made when you said that, that sounded really ominous.
Yeah.
I mean, all your guides will be with you forever, but like I don't know why it didn't sound
um,
ominous before.
he, he had her. There was a little disconnect between my human body and my light body where he wanted with my grounding, how many I haven't had any heel pain since this happened, but because I've had that like the whole time. It was like my light body was on marbles, and so my balance was causing my physical. Anyway, she put that part together, um, so
Ask your Gimli guide what that pain is in your foot.
It's not there right now.
She said
no,
she hasn't.
I haven't had any pain in my foot since.
Yeah, but
Since we worked with her.
okay.
Yeah, but it seemed like it was a
Are
beacon to
you
tell me
seeing
something.
something, Kate, or were you going off
Yeah.
of what she said?
No, I'm seeing like a rod. I didn't know there was a rod in that. Like I knew we healed that. I just didn't know that now there's like a stagnant rod, and I was just curious if he put that there or if somebody put that
That
there.
could have been when I did the I did the other I did a grounding where it was um like
Linda, ask Gimli if it's supposed to be there. I don't know if he wants to be called Gimli, but can you ask him if that rod's supposed to be there?
here. That's what it's supposed to be.
Spirit. Gimli. Is that rod supposed to be there? He's like, I don't know. I didn't put it there.
No, because that other lady did on Sunday.
Can you ask him to take anything out of your grounding paths or footing or energy body that has to do with grounding? Will you ask him to get all of that crap that doesn't belong? Like, he can look at it. He knows he's looking straight at it, but nobody's asked him to do anything about it.
Yeah, so he's just like,
Can you ask him, like, I don't know if it's like put it back to Balanced Divine Working Order, just like, hey, Gimli, can you take a look at this and like make sure it's all good?
Fine. No.
someone said in the comments says, sorry, who is she? A guide? No, she is Linda. Oh, a reader that Linda went to. He's going so slow. Spirit of Semanas, could please activate the speed up healing to this. All it did was make it go halfway.
He's just like,
yeah, but then it like poked out halfway, and then it's just like, why only halfway?
ask him to concept of something about time, human time, concept of time.
In his time, I guess.
No, it needs to speed up to not human time.
To his time.
But
right?
oh, I don't know. I guess.
I don't know.
Does he go faster? I think he goes slow.
Oh. Maybe
he goes slow.
Yeah.
I guess we could do cat or K time, but that's maybe not necessarily conducive for Linda.
Gimli.
But human time's not right either.
Can you go by the fastest time possible?
That won't hurt Linda?
That won't hurt Linda?
Okay.
And now
Casey Ray speed.
Okay.
Oh, that's faster. That's a lot.
It's not painful.
Wow. It's pulling out from your right arm, too.
Maybe I don't need that either.
He's just everything that's
not
in like is messing up your grounding or whatever. He's taken care of. Linda.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question. When you booked with me the first time, months ago, a long time ago, what was your expectations of the session? Like what
I don't really do
book?
expectations. I think that's a pitfall, expectations. I don't believe that's like the worst thing you can do to yourself.
Cool. I don't have expectations about anything either, but why the fuck did you book? You know what I'm saying?
I could tell.
You were curious about a lot of people, right?
Uh-huh.
You were just like,
yeah. Yeah. But I think I was in line with you, and it was like I knew that
he's pulling stuff out of your left foot now.
That would be helpful. I knew you would be helpful.
Mesmerized. Okay. What drew you to get a spirit guide reading from Kate?
Curiosity.
It's usually what everyone does.
I know.
They're like, ooh, a salad spinner as a spirit.
Well, and also like connection. It's like I was like looking for growth. So anything that I perceived would help me grow. That's what I gravitated toward.
S- does Gimli not work on her back? Because he does all this stuff with the grounding stuff, but now he's standing at her back. Like, what about all this?
Mm-hmm.
Is that not his job? Is he looking around like, where's the wire guy? Like, what's going on here?
Before you said anything about Casey Ray, I saw him pull out the spear, and then that was it. I didn't see him pull out anything else. So, like, what you're seeing, I'm not seeing. So it's like I can't. I was just kind of.
I have that ache in my neck now. Like,
Well, who the heck is standing behind her like this? Like, what about all these wires? Anybody gonna do anything about all these wires? Like hands on hips. They're not shaking their ass on their thought shit, but they're like,
Oh, I wonder if he like transformed in size because now he's not super wide anymore. Now he looks more like a gladiator. So it's really weird. Oh, she got unplugged?
no, I was trying to answer Matan.
Oh, sorry.
You can. I didn't want to interrupt, but I was gonna type, but I can't because these stupid fucking nails. I love them. Never mind. They're great. They're not stupid. I take it back. You can book a spirit guide session with Kate in her link tree. She's got a couple of different tiers available. Some people like the TikTok one, some like a more private, like exclusive. Some of them like them with the drawings. It just depends. There's different levels, but they're in her link tree currently. And I think she has it on Instagram and in TikTok, don't you,
Yeah.
babe?
So I'm
Yeah.
trying to wonder why he switched so quickly. Why do you look like this now? It just seemed to be the best fit.
Oh, because he shrunk down to do the work on Linda.
Oh,
He's gonna
okay.
go back.
Oh, he's like really respectful because he's like just sitting there. He's like, okay. I guess he's like waiting for direction because he's just standing there. He's like, so if you want him to work on your back, Linda, you just have to say so.
I don't think he works on the back. I think he's waiting for the wire guy. Can you do this for me? Can you try to ask him to go ahead and bring the wire guy around?
You're talking to me or
please
Linda?
go ahead and bring
Linda.
in the wire guy. That's good. I think your volume went down when you moved your phone.
Okay. How about now? No? Yes? No? Yes?
It sounded the same.
Ow.
Oh, it does? Maybe it's mine.
Ow.
Okay, wait.
Ow.
Did you turn it up on accident?
Oh, my phone.
Well, not on accident, very much on purpose, but
Oh,
it made my ears bleed.
I want to
That's
hear
fun.
all of you.
At the highest volume. Oh, I'm getting real, like, hot now.
Uh-huh.
I thought that was only me.
And
That's weird.
I'm burning up and it feels anxious, but it's not anxious in the chest. It's anxious around here. And I don't know what that means. Who's the wire guy?
I don't know. Either Gimli or the wire guy is me because I have stopped trying to see and I'm just like sitting here in a portal, I guess. I don't know. I'm just real hot and sweaty now. So I'm just like, yeah, this is nice. Okay. Spirit of in high school, please activate the speed up healing to this. Like real fast because I don't want to deal with this. Make it conducive to Linda.
But Kate, you've stepped into inspector role, so who's not showing up for their job?
Oh.
And you were aggravated about it, which you're
Okay.
never aggravated about healing.
So
You're like, this is my day off. I'm not supposed to be doing this job. Who the fuck didn't step up?
Okay, so I got that I'm supposed to call in avionics, which is for aircraft, right? So it's like if the wire guys wouldn't be here, right? So it would be like, where the fuck is avionics? I found you. Please come to work. Linda needs the wires over here. I'll do my little plane signals.
Oh my gosh.
What?
My plane guys. I was like, what do I have? I have these I was talking to Kate earlier today about like aligning something, and I don't want to go into it right now, but I was like, what do I have? Is it like octopus or what is it? And I was like, no, it's the drag queens that do the like light things on the runway of the planes. And they were like, we are not queens. We just like to vogue. I was like, okay, sorry guys, my apologies.
Sorry, Vogers.
Sorry. Do you know that? Is that on your TikTok, Linda? Where it's like, can you be my baby girl? And
I hadn't seen that.
no? Okay. Just mine? Okay.
They about to get fired, Wit says. Well, you don't get your ass to work. Yeah.
I got that Wit has the authority to fire them, which I don't know what that means. It's Linda's team, but I would like to look in that later sometime.
Wit, tell them they're about to get fired.
She's like, ooh.
Let me just tell y'all.
Oh.
Well, it did make them speed up. Okay, so cool. Avionics. Can you work on Linda's wiring? Activate Linda's house. Linda, can you activate your house cleanse to
Spirit, please activate Linda's house cleanse. To what?
avionics?
Oh, avionics.
Okay, there was a lot there.
Okay. Cool. Now I'm observing. Good. Okay. Spirit of Nice, could please activate the speed up healing to this. And make it conducive to Linda. Ooh.
Hey, Linda, I have a question while she's working on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that with your, like, the job that you're in, you have, and the way that you are in your life, where you're in a place where you can actually, like, do the deep work financially, time, you're your own boss kind of situation, all of that. But you also dive deep into all the different, like, resources that are out there because you have done such an extensive, like, researching. What have you found has been the most impactful thing for people who are really interested in getting their spiritual stuff, like really getting in there and like, I'm ready to heal, I'm tired of this shit, I'm ready for a change, I'm ready to go. What free or inexpensive things are out there for people that you have found works the best? What like made stuff click for you? Was it like just TikTok itself? Were there like classes? Ow, that made me bite my tongue. Classes you took from other people? Did you do a deep dive in Instagram or YouTube or anything like that?
Probably like
books?
90%, maybe 95 is TikTok.
Just all over? Just whoever comes on your page kind of thing? Or do you go, I know you spend a lot of time in my playlists. Kate doesn't have playlists. But I'm sure you went through, like, towards the bottom of her page and went up and went through it. And that's what you do. So is that what you do? Do you just wait for something to pop on your For You page? Or when it makes sense to you, do you go to their page and then dive through?
It'll start on the For You page, or someone will talk about someone, and then I'll go to their page and then I'll look at their feed and kind of see how I flow with the content and that kind of thing. And
how can you tell if you flow with it? Because a lot of people can't trust themselves. And that's something that you have a skill set in that I don't know that you even know is so good. I know you know what you like and what's not for you. But when people have anxiety and they just don't know, and there's so much information out there. I mean, like, yeah, you can do the loss in the sauce healing or the like source cord healing and stuff, but what feeling after years of experience with real life things, when it came to spirituality, made you go, I know this is for me, and I know that this is not for me?
Yeah, that's annoying. That's it is, I really depend on my knowing a lot. And because I don't, I mean, that's probably my strongest,
Claire
um,
or whatever.
because sometimes I'll start to resonate with someone and then it's like they're going off into a spot I don't want to go to. And then I will not watch them as often. It's like I'm gathering and getting what I need to get me to where I need to go. I kind of like it's a ladder that
Do you always know? But you live in the now moment. So how do you know where you need to go? What is that thing that goes, I need to go there?
I just, it, it's more an elimination thing where I know I don't need to go. Like if I'm looking at a TikTok or I'm not resonating with the person anymore, or I'm pretty interested in this.
It looks like a
Um,
ladder, honestly, like a Donkey Kong. You know, it has a ladder and then it has a platform that goes over here, and there's this ladder. Sometimes there won't be a ladder. Does that make sense, Linda?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes there
Okay,
won't be
well,
a ladder.
how do you put that into words for other people? How would someone who doesn't naturally have that knowing and that ladder and that platform know when it's time to get the fuck off that ladder? Because me personally, I will stay mutuals and friends with someone, even if I don't like, we're not on the same page anymore, forever. It takes them hurting me. And then it's still hard for me to be like, maybe not for me. Maybe at this point, or they have to like steal my stuff or like blatantly, like they have to really go hard on me. And sometimes I won't leave. It's a lot for me to
I
go.
will
It's not
leave.
for me.
I will leave. I have left friends that were, I mean, way before I was awake. If they were just not good for me, then and I would say, you know what, this isn't good for me. This isn't a good situation. I'm sorry. I just don't want to be friends anymore because, they're super, it's like I feel bad because it's not their fault, but I
Right,
have
no,
to
exactly.
remove myself from that situation because it influences. I know that I can't help them because anyway, I have
Okay, so
left.
that Matan has a question here, but I want to hit on that. Matan's question, when I say it out loud, is there a place you feel see this resonance, Linda? Like, does it spark? Does the screen light up? Is it just kind of like, nah? Or is it like, ugh, this didn't feel good anymore? Or like, I can't believe they said that. Like,
I feel like it's when you
Um,
stop healing.
I was friends with a person for like 10 years and we did things with our kids when our kids were young, but it's just like she just was just it was all one-sided. And it was like, I'm the kind of person on a friendship, if there isn't something right in it, then I will talk about it and resolve it. Or,
well, what about when it's one-sided? Like TikTok is one-sided. You
mm-hmm,
are in an audience consuming whatever is out there in
mm-hmm.
that situation where there isn't a back and forth. What is it? I know you have a clear knowing, but is there something that indicates like when is it time has and when is it time to go? And how far do you go? Do you block them or do you just not like do you just
No,
scroll past them?
I unfollow.
Okay.
I keep people in my feed that, but if it's somebody that I just don't want to follow anymore, I, it has been a feeling, but that's kind of rare for me to base it on a feeling like this. It's, but I think whatever someone feels the strongest part of where they are, that's how they should judge where they put their attention.
Well, Matan clarified with his body. Like you said, is it somewhere in your body that you feel it even?
No, it's
It's
just a
just
clear
enough.
knowing.
Hmm.
I
The
know because we're talking because Maton's on here. When I first started on TikTok, he was curious about my stuff. It fit in with the things that he already knew, but it wasn't exact because I learned from experience and he was very much in his religion and culture growing up. So I would say stuff and he'd be like, "Wait a second. wait a second. Wait a second. And then he'd be like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. We worked together. There was a really big thing that went like this, anxiety wise, and it broke us apart for probably months. No ill will. We just didn't interact. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, whoosh. So when do you know, like back to, okay, hey friend, how are you? I see you, you see me, that kind of thing. Is there ever a time when you're like, because you unfollow, but what if they come back on your,
They do come back on my For You page.
do you watch them and just see?
I do. I do. Because it's like, well, maybe I was in a bad mood that day, or maybe maybe, and then I've listened, and it was like, not that direction. No, it is a feeling though. Once I do that, when I came back to that second person, it was a feeling like, this isn't good. But I totally blindly went into situations that were not good for me, and I had no clue. So, didn't know.
Is it when that person stops trying and you can feel the effort leave? Does that make sense?
On TikTok?
TikTok?
Oh, in
and
life?
real life. Like, and in the physical. 'Cause
Hmm.
I feel like some people can see it leave. Like, I can see it leave. I can see the energy and
What do you
care.
mean by see it leave, Kate? Because I've heard you talk about this before, but like for anybody who might be a seer and not know, or might be a feeler and not know how to express it in words of seeing, or might be a knower, what do you mean by see it leave, their efforts?
Okay.
On a
Someone,
one-way or a two-way?
I'll just describe it. So
Okay.
when somebody's trying, right, their energy looks like and it's really pointy, and they're going out like this, right? And you don't know you see it. Like it's not like, oh, I'm seeing this on you right now. It's really odd, and I'm gonna try to explain it. It's like in their videos, right, where they're like, oh, I'm gonna explain this, or I'm talking really passionately
They
about
light up.
this. Yeah, but
They light up.
it looks like the Nickelodeon splatter, except the splatters are pointy. They're jagged and pointy, right? And it comes off of their head right here. And then I'll notice whenever they just don't have the want to heal, the or grow or anything like that, they don't really care anymore about their anything. It stops, and it's rounded, and it goes like this. It looks like more like the Nickelodeon splatter, but closer to their head. It looks like an implosion, actually. Like a fighting themselves.
So when you leave someone, Linda, when you stop following someone or stop, you use the word resonate with, but I've still got to heal why I don't like that word. But oh, I know why I don't like it. I mean, like I think I've touched on that before, but I was looking at some of my old Facebook twin flame room private. I don't subscribe to twin flames anymore. I just want to make that clear. Those private videos in those rooms where I would make welcome videos and greet because I was one of the admins and I wanted to just like welcome people to the room and make them feel like it was their home and not just some random page. But I used to say that word and it's not, it was like a word I heard. It wasn't one that I came up with. And so like it it just feels real gross. Like it feels like it's not authentic.
Oh, because
Okay,
it
so
turns colors. Whenever it's a word you come up with, it turns a different color. And whenever it's a
oh,
forced word, it's a different color. Okay, that makes sense.
it doesn't feel good in my mouth. I don't like the way it don't like the way that word
Stop
feels.
being
It
in my
does not
mouth.
feel it doesn't feel honest or authentic to me. And even though like a lot of people resonate with the word resonate, it feels real gross. Yeah, the word didn't resonate, Matan, exactly. But
Oh,
Linda,
are they commenting? Because it stopped for me.
yeah,
Cool.
it always
Awesome.
stops for you, Kate.
Fuck it.
Um, Fuck. I was gonna ask Linda a question. What the hell was it? Linda doesn't cuss, by the way. I don't know how she spends so much time with myself and Kate.
It
She
doesn't
cracked
bother
me
me.
up. She cracked me up the other day. She saw a video that like she hadn't seen. before, and she was like, how the frick did I miss this? And then underneath it, she wrote, "Excuse my language."
What's your favorite curse word, Linda? Probably frick.
Darn.
She doesn't like that one either
Probably
because
darn.
apologized for it after.
Yeah. I used to
Um,
swear a long time ago. I just don't now.
is okay, so when you stop following a spiritual person, right? Because you're trying to follow your own true north. You're big on that. Like, if it's not for me, get it out of here. If it is for me, cool. That's what I'm about. But you're still not fearful. You still reach out and try new things. You learn by consuming, not like you consume here, you consume here, you consume here. But what is it? Is it politics that will turn you off? Is it talking badly about another person that turns you off? Do they just feel like they're lying? Is it what Kate said? Does it feel like they used to light up and they used to look like they were trying and now they feel like defeated or gross, or they like change their
The judgy stuff, I have a hard time with judgy stuff, but I know that's just trauma. But if I were to pinpoint one thing,
like if they get in drama with other people on the app?
they judge an action for something when they don't know that. It's like, I can't tell you what your truth is of why you're doing what you're doing because I don't have the experiences you do. So if I hear people judging other people when they don't even know that person, what their whole life is about, I don't like that. But it's not like I would not it's not like I would go, oh, they're judgy, I'm not going to follow them. It's more like I'm on a learning path, and I'm going to keep, if I'm learning and it's really intuitive.
That's
But
what the ladder
but
is.
it's all about
I'm
learning
going
and growing for me.
You're going up your Jacob's ladder, and if there is no ladder, you just leave. That's what Kate saw, but I wanted to further explain it for anybody. But that's exactly it. It's like if I'm no longer learning with you,
Hmm.
I'm going to step to the right. Thank you very much. Oh, look, another ladder. Do 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 do
Yeah, and
do.
it's not like it's no ding on them. It's like, certain people will get you to a certain level, and then if you need to go beyond, then that's you just keep going.
If you ever get to a point where our ladder runs out, you know that we are, people leave. They
Absolutely.
come back, they leave, they come back. They don't. We go to people, we leave, we come back. No, that's not true. Never mind. That part was not true. Why don't we come back? Once we're done, we're done.
They usually do something to it. It's not that our ladder runs out. They usually like sweep the ladder from underneath us. So
Oh.
it's not that there's
It
no
takes a
room.
lot for us to leave.
Yeah, we will try
Okay.
to climb up that wall, even though there's no fucking ladder there.
Why do we do that? Why don't we have what Linda has? Is it like so we have it's like
Well, we see potential too. So it's like, oh, there's that platform. What if we like build a ladder, guys? Like,
oh my God, we build so many ladders that don't belong. And we're like, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be so good. And then we're like, I feel kind of sick up here. I don't like this ledge.
and it's
I
only with
don't,
people too. We don't do it in our healings. We don't freaking do that with healings or in other timelines. Why do we only
why
do
do,
that with the people here?
I don't know. I don't
Man.
know. I don't know. Okay, so Linda, so TikTok, that's where you find like your next path for healing or whatever. How do you feel about like because even though you've been with like you're like, oh, they still make sense. Even their old stuff still makes sense. Kate and Kat, they still make sense to me. I'm gonna stick around here for a bit or whatever. Um, what the fuck was I saying? What the hell was I saying?
I
It's
keep getting
about
stipulations to it too. Like you won't necessarily unfollow.
oh,
But it's
the
different with
people.
you guys because of the lives that we've shared.
Well,
There's a
yeah, but there are people. I'm gonna cut you off because I got my thought back.
Mhm.
Because there are people that will stick with people that they don't agree with anymore. And it's almost like that they leave Christianity or like Scientology or, Hebrewism or like whatever
Mm-hmm.
the culture is. And they find one person and they just stick with that person no fucking matter what. And they don't understand that they cannot grow past themselves if they are stuck to somebody. Like
Mm-hmm.
you like
I
us,
have
but you're not
had a
stuck
lot
to
of
us.
different religions growing up in different religions. So, um,
This
I
makes me
mean,
want to vomit.
that was still a path.
Spirit is nice.
Whoops.
Speed that up by 10 trillion years or more necessary. I think for you, Linda, too, is what I'm seeing is you'll unfollow whenever they start to take the light from somebody else, too. Like you were
Mm-hmm.
saying, it's judgment, right? Like it's whenever they
Yeah.
judge somebody, but it looks like uh, some creators, which I've witnessed, they'll like take somebody else's little Nickelodeon splatters and they'll try to put it on theirs and they're different colors and so it looks like rainbows and it's like no, you have your own color but you're trying to take somebody else's spikes and it looks like you can feel that and that's when also you unfollow. That's like your last straw unfollow.
Me or Linda?
Linda, I'm
Me.
telling her like what I'm seeing right now. It's like a stipulation. She'll like not talk or not interact, whatever. But the unfollow comes whenever they try to take somebody else's spikes, their light or whatever you want to call it. Not light because sometimes it's dark. Uh, Whatever
Right.
this is, and they'll try to take from somebody else's and put it on theirs, and it looks like rainbows. And it's like, no, you have your own color. Why don't you make your own? Like you don't have to pretend to be something that you don't understand. And then it seems like that's when she really checks out.
Oh, because like we work together, but we're not the same person.
What do you,
Like our content's extremely different.
yeah,
Like we have our own spikes.
yeah. But it's like that's her last straw. Because I was like, well, then why doesn't she unfollow like everybody? But it's like, no, it's she can feel other people's spikes, whatever this is. So that's interesting, Linda. You can feel people's, I don't know what else to call it without sounding gross. You can feel people's light, but it is. It's like everybody has this light that they emanate, and it could be dark, but it's like a
Why
shiny.
did it make me want to throw up when we were talking about people sticking to people that need to leave them?
Oh, I got Jay.
Oh, that's weird.
That
Okay.
is weird. I don't know why that would happen. It's one of Kat's exes.
If you can call him that, it was a fake relationship
Yeah, a relationship that never actually happened.
for
But
6 years.
for 6 years. So it's like I don't know why that would you'd have to do that. Hmm.
Do you think not listening to my gut instinct for that long did
Turn it
that?
off. Turn it off. Interesting.
Because it took me forever to get my gut instinct back. Because when I was younger, I thought having a gut instinct was a superpower. I didn't. I would just trust and believe everybody. And I had to build the intuition. And then I betrayed it. I betrayed my own intuition. It's making me really hot. Linda, you betrayed your own intuition for a while too, didn't you? Because we both had like ex relationships and stuff. Or
Uh-huh.
did you?
Um, I um I stayed for a reason. I was waiting for time. I needed time to pass before I could go.
Okay.
Even though emotionally I had left like 5 years before I physically left.
Hmm.
The
But
first?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
I just thought it was just because we had kids and all of that and
You were building your
circumstances.
foundation. You were building your
Mm-hmm.
foundation before your past crumbled, which is what you set up now for yourself back then. So you were
Mm-hmm.
healing yourself at that time.
Would
Yeah.
that be what you did too then, Kat?
Building my foundation before my past crumbled. I
Yeah.
needed to get to this place.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But 6 years worth? But if I wasn't in that situation, we wouldn't be here to get today.
That's what I'm
I mean,
saying.
I'm sure we would have found each other or whatever, but there is no
Way later.
fucking way. There's no fucking way if I didn't go through what I went through with those people that I'd be doing this. Like, that's one of the things that drives me crazy when people talk about manifesting the future, manifesting. If I was back when I did tarot before the fear cord was ripped out, nothing wrong with tarot. I think it's amazing. I still pick up my cards. Kate does too. Like,
Mm.
I love it. But if I was trying to manifest my future as a Pier 1 manager that was like not fully divorced, but a single mom of two and a tarot reader, and I was like, maybe I can start offering readings because I'm on Facebook now and there's actual people that like it, not just people in my real world. Maybe I can, maybe I could start a career like this. And it was like, oh, okay, charge, $22 for a reading or $33 for a reading or donation based or whatever the fuck. If I was to manifest what future me would be at that point, how the fuck would I have thought of this? Whatever the fuck we're doing here? No way in hell. There's no way that I would ever know. Did you think about that? Did you guys think about your future back then? Like what you wanted to be? Are you who you thought you were going to be at all in any means?
No.
The house I live in right now, I said probably 15 years before I bought this house that I was going to live in this community. I've said things and they happen, like specific things for future.
I think we've healed so much that the things that were going to be reality are not anymore. Like, I was going to be alone forever. I prepared for it for years.
You have a tattoo about it.
Yeah. I mean, like, I knew I was going to be alone forever. Forever.
So I want to look at that. When Linda manifests, or is she manifesting or is she being prophetic? Is she anchoring into a future, like
Prophetic.
manifesting it and bringing it to her? Or is she seeing one that already exists and she's not even on that timeline yet and she just knows where she's going to go?
It looks prophetic because I see Linda, like, going like this to her past self, being like, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yes,
Oh,
that
yelling.
sounds, yes. Yeah.
It's part of her knowing.
It's like a backward C.
But if she heals now, if she whatever she heals now changes her future,
Mm-hmm.
how does that affect?
Because it's a ripple. It looks like a C, a backward C. Does that make sense? Oh,
Nope.
okay.
Does it make sense to you, Linda? Nope.
Okay.
We are not with you. We don't know what you're saying.
Well, if I'm going to the future and I'm saying this house is what I want to have and it comes back this way,
Yes,
is that the
yes.
C back to my now?
Yes.
And so then I'm saying someday I'm going to live here.
Yes.
Just like the Harbor Bridge. I said I am going to climb the Harbor Bridge someday. And 7 years later I did.
And then she talks to her
I
future
knew
self,
when I watched
Linda.
Oprah do it, it was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to do that.
And then it like,
Okay, does that version of her jump between timelines then? Does it go like this?
well, sometimes it tells her no, is what I get. Sometimes she'll be like, I'm going to do that. And then it'll answer back, no.
So does it go like this? It like there's all these timelines that can happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whatever she heals now alters her timeline. Does this thing that goes around like this in the future timelines, this version of her that echoes back to her, does it like scan the timelines, find the one, and like it looks like it like bends it.
Oh.
It like bends it to wherever her timeline is, it's like here's the most probable outcome, and then it just goes like this and pulls it back to wherever her most healed. So if she heals something today, that
Okay.
version of her for 5 years in the future goes like this, fine, fuck, and then goes over to this timeline,
Uh-huh.
and then goes back over here, and then goes back over here, and then over here, and then over here, and then over here.
Yes. That's
What the?
she has.
Okay, So that's something that people want. They want to align with their most healed timeline, but also anchor in to that manifestation. How does everybody have this? If so, how do we get it? Because I've never seen this before.
It's not in some people's highest good to have that.
It's because Linda continuously does the work, and so it's
Yeah.
not too far fetched.
I'm
It's
trying
like
to think.
like as some people, their timelines are like this, Linda's are like this. Like, if she was on this timeline of healing and she went to, say, this timeline, that's
Mhm.
not too far of a jump for future her. Let
Right.
me do it like this.
Oh, okay.
But if it was, this is future her going like, fuck. I was trying to keep in looping like this. Sorry for people listening at home. My apologies.
A
I'm so
backward C,
sorry.
guys. Backward C.
Just backwards C. Just envision it. It's great. Just tag along. If her timelines of healing, because she heals so fucking much, did she develop this future her at a certain time? Okay, oh, focus, Kat. Put it
It's
into
hard.
tangible words.
Yes.
Okay, if it was not Linda, if it was like Linda from 30 years ago, Linda
Okay.
from 30 years ago, her timelines are like this, right? That's Olive, by the way, clawing at the
Meow.
chair. If Linda's timelines are like this, right? And she saw something over here, but this was the most healed timeline over here on
Okay.
this ring finger, it would be really hard for future Linda to go from the thumb line all the way to this line. But since she is healing, she has that version of her that can link it because it's a way shorter distance.
Oh, yeah, that's what it looks like.
Because she's constantly healing on the most healed timeline, so her visions or thoughts or it's easily aligned.
There's lots of
So
things
do
that line up.
so do we have that?
We can, yeah, we do it all the time. We say, "Hey, future, hey,
Right, but we always go if it's not in the highest good, it'll fall away.
yeah,
Hers isn't like that.
it is," because it'll say no. It'll say
Oh,
no if it's just not feasible. Um, how do I put this? If it's so ridiculous that it puts her out of a healed timeline, it looks like it'll be like, no. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Like, it is in her highest good, but there's squinty eyes. It's like, might not be the most healed timeline, but it's like, it's what you want. And there's no harm in it. So,
sure.
yeah.
Oh, huh.
I know it's really weird. But then it bounces back. So, if you do your little backward C thing, and then once that timeline goes, it pops out of the C, right? And then it looks like it merges in back in with the most healed timeline. Does that make sense?
Linda's nodding yes for those
It
listening at home.
does. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, I'll try to enact it. Hey, I'm going on that bridge. Hey, Linda's going on that bridge. Cool. And then it backwards sees, and then you're going down the timeline like, okay, it's 7 years later, and then it's like most healed timeline, pop, and it goes back into it. Because it now becomes a straight line.
Oh, because it was holding it in place. That's that slingshot looking thing that didn't feel like it was gonna pop was. It was like checkpoint and holding it.
Oh.
And then like she lines her timelines and then it was like, okay. And
Yeah.
it put it back in.
And then it goes straight again and it merges in with the most healed timeline. Because I was like, no, it isn't her highest
Do you
good.
do, Linda, do
Okay.
you do like in this many years I'm gonna do this? Or do you go, I'm going to live here, I'm going to climb that bridge, I'm going to live in that neighborhood?
Yeah, I don't put a time on it. I do say
That's
that.
why.
Someday,
That's why.
someday. Yeah.
That's why. Because the time thing, it wouldn't work. It's like it pulls it out, holds its place, and then when you heal and you do the things, and when you're healing, the other part of this is you're healing towards that goal. Because once you have a destination, because that's how you work as deadlines. My deadline is that bridge. My deadline is that home. So you're heal enough to be on that timeline, and then it puts it back into place and goes, here you go. That makes sense. So if you were like, hey, future you, I want to grow a penis.
Uh, she's like, I would never, but that's fine.
Okay.
It would happen. It would bend it. It would backwards see it.
Don't, what, Spirit, undo that,
Oh,
please. That was Kat, not Linda. Thanks.
Thanks.
she
Sorry.
thanks too.
Sorry. Sorry.
I do really watch my thinking, though. I really watch that.
Okay, talk about that more.
Um, because I don't want to manifest something that I really don't want.
Yeah.
So I watch
All of our
what
stuff,
I,
all of our stuff's in like phrases. So if we
yeah,
say something out loud, it's like, okay. Do, 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 do. Like, I should
yeah,
know.
Well, should I type
yeah.
something today? I typed something and it did it, and I was like, oh, that's creepy because I didn't mean for that to happen.
Yeah.
This is making me do this. Okay, so talk about managing your thoughts. Not just your vocabulary, but your thoughts. How have you figured that out? When did you figure that out? Did you hear something and it went, that makes sense, and you started doing it? Or did you find a way to realize that when you manage your thoughts, because I have like an old video that's like from Facebook that's like what you what you feel is what you think is what you say is what you do is what you feel is what you think, and it was connecting all that.
That started a long time ago as far as thoughts can change your life. Um,
Oh, the anxiety excitement thing you were talking to me about.
oh
That's a
yeah,
feeling,
that
not a thought, but
I'm reframing because anxiety and excitement are the same feeling in the body that if I start to feel a little anxiety, I go, ooh, I'm so excited. So I'm reframing that so that I don't feel anxiety, that I feel excitement.
not in a lie. It's literally like the synonym for it, the opposite side of that coin.
Yeah,
Turning,
it's been quite helpful. Um, it's more kind of like nervousness. It's not real anxiety. It's more I'll get a little nervous about something, and I don't really want to feel that. I'd rather look at the excited part. And I've always been the kind of my cup has always been half full instead of half empty. So,
I
Oh,
always say it depends on what I'm drinking and how thirsty I am. If it's
yeah.
Heineken, it's really full and I don't want any more. And I think it's real gross.
What's wrong
Is
with
that why you're squinting?
Heineken?
I hate Heineken, Kate. I don't like it. It tastes
Maybe
real
Heineken
skunky
doesn't
to
like
me.
you. You ever
It
think about
doesn't.
that?
It doesn't. It doesn't like me. Do you want to go look at it? I'm sure there's something there. I do not like
That's
it.
all I drank in Alaska because one of the older mechanics
Gross.
was like, "You would really like Heineken," and I was like, "I would really like Heineken." Didn't know. Didn't
It's
know.
so horrible.
Oh,
It's
beer
so
is gross
gross.
to me anyway. So I was just like,
I
"Look,
like,
they like it."
but I like beer. I just don't like I like Red Stripe,
Mm.
but I don't like Heineken.
It's like coffee. So many people have told me I'd like it.
Hey Linda, how do you feel about like the people that are like, if you want to get to spirituality, you have to meditate, you can't drink, you can't smoke. I know you know where we stand on it, but what's your personal viewpoint on it from life experience? Like, do you have to eat a certain way to be spiritual,
I don't
or
think so at all. I do what I think it's a really individual thing, and I don't. And to say a blanket statement that you have to do this to be this, I don't truly believe that that's true.
it
So,
can't be?
yeah. So, I just kind of do what I think is good for me. Um, it, but I don't think anybody has to do anything to be in alignment specifically.
Why don't you cuss?
Um,
Did someone
I,
tell you it was like vulgar one time or something, or did you feel
no,
it wasn't like empowering?
well, um, I did get whooped one time for saying the F word when I was young. which that's a whole thing. But even when I was a child, I was probably 8 years old, and I said to my mom, "Why does Dad have to cuss so much?" I didn't like it. And I was kind of the only person in my family that was religious. So, and I kind of went in and out a lot of different religious kind of things, just kind of trying to find something. Um, and it might have to do with because if you cuss and you have a job that you can't cuss, then you accidentally cuss, and then there's all that.
Yeah,
And
might as well.
some
It's
of
just
that
easier
is
not to.
the little grandkids. They were living with me for a long, years, and
Yeah.
I didn't want to cuss, but I think it was just a personal choice. But when I did first come on TikTok and everybody was cussing, it was like I just had to desensitize, like, oh,
I did
and
too on TikTok because Chris, my eldest, had TikTok, and I went on there, and the song that was trending when I started going on the For You page, like scrolling, was I know you think about me in the shower, Pornhub on your browser, thinking about that pussy power, and I was
Are
like,
you salivating over me, sir?
excuse me, what are you listening to? Because I used to turn the radio down if they said the word sexy. I'd be like, oh, look, look, look. And then they were like, they tried to sing I'm sexy and I know it in the back seat. And I was like, excuse me, you're like 7. And now I'm completely desensitized to it all. And I don't, but my kids, they click off when they're in school. They don't like, they're not disrespectful. There's a level
mhm.
of like, they're not disrespectful. That's their click off.
It doesn't bother me unless there's anger behind it. Then when I feel that, I don't like that at all. But
Matan, I used to be such a different mom. I did not cuss in front of my kids. That came with being a single mom, where I just could not, didn't give a fuck anymore. Um, the Christian indoctrination, what was right, what was wrong. I taught my eldest, when they were little, they would say, "Mother, may I please have some assistance with my shoes?" And then "can't" was a bad word in my house, so it would be, "I have not mastered this skill set yet, mother. I need some assistance." And my friends would be like, "Really, Kat? Seriously?" And I'm like, "I don't like the word can't. It's really limiting," to the point where my eldest would yell at the middle child and be like, "Can't is a bad word." I was like, "Whoa, I messed up on that one. That was oops, sorry. I was big time. Shouldn't have done that." But anyway,
I used to not like bad words too until I got to school, mechanic school. Imagine not cussing around mechanics. That is impossible. So that's the
how did
only
that
thing that
go, Kate? I want to hear that story real bad,
it's not
really
anything like
badly.
that. I didn't think it was like I don't know. There's not really a story to it. It's just like my brain was like, I don't really cuss. Like I don't really say that. You know what I mean? And then they started saying it, and I was like, oh, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening when they say it. And then it just that's how that happened. It was just like, oh, they're saying these things, and everybody thinks it's okay. It's okay for me too. Cool. And
Kate,
then it just
Kate, what made you? What was your first time cussing?
probably fuck. No, I'm just kidding. I think it was like words like sex and stuff like that. Because
Oh
so many
my.
of the guys were interested in like, oh, Kate, like who do you go out with? Things like that. Obviously, they were disgusting 3D boys, and so it was like stuff like that, like sex and like dildos, like stupid, just things like
That's
that.
so funny.
Yeah, it was fun.
I also, Linda, I did grow up in the church, but like I was the only one in my family that was like, church is life, bro. Like, I remember all my punk rock and gothic friends, if they wanted to hang out with me, they had to come to church. I'm at youth group on Wednesday nights. My youth minister let all the punk rock kids with their mohawks, their safety pins, their vampire teeth, everything. You can park in our church parking lot because it was behind the school, but you have to come to youth group. And I was like, they will. I'm there. And like they all hung out with me but like I remember hanging out with those friends and they'd have on like Typo Negative or Marilyn Manson. I'd be like, no, I can't hear this. Turn it off. I can't. This is horrible. And I would like leave. But I grew up in that religious structure. How did you like I said, I lived and breathed it, but it was literally was life. But you said you're the only religious person in your family. So, like, what were you searching for? Like, how did that happen? Because Kate didn't grow up in a religious family either.
I went through a bit where I thought I was going to hell. So I was out to save myself.
Who told you that?
I don't know. It was really young.
Future Linda. No!
No. Backwards C that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think she let her believe it for a while. It took her a while before she said no
Oh.
because it made her find her path.
I'll think about it.
Yeah.
She's like this.
Yeah, I did have that for a while. And then I had the party stage for a few years
Did a friend tell you about hell? Did school tell you about hell? Who told you about hell?
Who told you about
you
that?
know, I don't even know because I mean nobody
Did the radio tell you about or
It's a
TV?
cartoon or something.
It's like a TV or radio. It's like God.
No, hell.
Oh.
unless
Not
there
God.
was like a religious you know how they'd have church on on TV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there was something like that where, you know,
It's like
It was
it's like for
mentioned
kids.
is what it looked like. I went back to where did Linda
oh,
learn
Sunday
about
school,
hell?
Sunday school. I went to Sunday school before church every Sunday.
Okay.
How did you just go there? Like, did you just walk? Was
It
it
was
in the
just
town?
it was like a almost a little less than a half mile from our house.
That's how my mom was. Her church was walking distance. It was a
Yeah.
little town in Missouri.
And my mom didn't, oh, well, it doesn't matter. My mom didn't want to get me up, so she bought me an alarm clock. Here, if you want to go to church, you set your time.
I would do that.
Yeah.
Funny. Makes
I'd
sense.
be like, you wanna go to church? Wake your damn self up. I ain't got time for that shit. I wouldn't hold her back. Any of my kids, I'd be like, sure, go for it, but that's not my life, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh. Okay. We've been on here for like an hour and a half, and that's hard
Wow.
to edit as well. So anybody have any questions they would like to ask Linda, who has been on this spiritual journey like cognitively for 6 months and just healing the fuck out of dimensional times without saying the word fuck and manifesting her life and went to church, but they told my mom I was possessed.
Love that for you.
See, we didn't have that. Linda and I didn't have that. A lot of you, because you had your spiritual gifts open, I know that Linda and I did not have that because we didn't know we could like see or feel or anything. That was shut down. So when we went to church, we didn't have anybody telling us that we were evil or of the devil or anything like that. Ours was fear-based. Ours was like, if I don't do right, and my church didn't say go to hell, but it was like, you don't touch tarot, you don't touch Ouija boards, you don't touch that because that shit is real and you will open it up.
Mine would always get really mad at my questions. So I could never.
Oh, yeah. Tara said, what is your favorite thing you've healed, whether it be personal or big world events?
My favorite thing?
Ben, I know it's been a long podcast. I see you just joined. Hi, honey bunny. Hi. Sorry.
It'd probably would be related to government because I had such feelings about that.
You've broken apart a lot of
still
government
do.
stuff.
Yeah.
So was it one particular thing, or is it just that topic on a whole?
In that topic as a whole.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
A lot of her healings do seem to go back to governments. That's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, big stuff. Like dimensional, huge behind the scenes government crap is what Linda works on a lot. Like every time I work with her, I'm like, holy fuck. Jeez, we just broke apart a lot of crap. Okay, Matan asked something too. Um,
I can't see it. I'm just
I just
reminding
wanted
you.
to know more about how to discern between anxiety and intuition.
Oh,
It's
Actually, I get that Kate can actually see what anxiety feels like for Matan and intuition feels like for Matan because he's a feeler. He's a seer too, but
do you feel mostly Matan? Somebody's gonna have to tell me what he says. So he feels mostly. Whenever he gets the sweats and the shakes, that is anxiety. Um,
he got the sweats and the shakes when he was working with us
yeah,
when we took him up to the 24th dimension.
that's
So
anxiety.
how does he? Okay, so how does he know
When it,
whether to listen to it or not?
it's a very calm voice talking just like I am right now, and it'll be like, "Hey, Matan, you're fuck. I don't want to like put something out into the universe. You might have a fall tomorrow." Then it'll be super calm, and then it's like just letting you know, and he'd be like, "Oh, okay," and then he can do preventative work for it. So if someone asks you, please undo that. If I did that,
You did. You did. I
undo
feel it
it.
undoing.
Okay.
So what does intuition feel like in my body, he says.
Intuition is calm. It feels very calm, and it feels
You can have, here's the confusing thing, Matan, is what Kate is getting is even though you have that calm intuition, you still get anxiety during it. So if you get anxiety and the world's on fire, and there's no calm voice inside you saying it's going to be okay, and this is what's going to happen, that first this is going to happen, then this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen. If it's just the world is on fire, then it's probably not for you. But that world is on fire feeling, we've looked at that before. I think that's deep rooted religious stuff from like centuries.
and it looks like when it's actually true, there seems to be a purple light right here, it looks like it feels warm. So I don't know if
So
that.
warmth and not heartburn, but warmth in your heart, babe.
Yeah, from right
It's
here.
like it's almost in your sternum.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you drink tea, Matan? The things that you're guided to drink tea to calm you down is like, or like it's not soup, it might be soup. It's a hot liquid. When you're able to drink that and it actually calms you down and you're able to focus, it means it's right for you. I don't know what
That
that
makes
means.
sense.
Right now, by the way, he said, okay. That is you, that's your soul. It's um, like we have songs set up. Linda has songs, Kate has songs. One of your things is like if someone's like I'm getting anxiety, I need to go to sleep, I'm getting anxiety, when you get that feeling where you're like I'm getting anxiety, I think I'll have a cup of tea, it's probably right for you because that's
And
the calm, it allows the calming voice to be heard.
if you
Someone
see it, you
asked
can
something,
heal it. I'm just saying.
if you see it you can heal it. One hold on, I'm going back up here. Color of Pain 666 said no questions, just think she is amazing. Backward C with a big smiley face. Okay, Angelina Kisses You says, how do you filter your thoughts, Linda? Can you put that into words on how you filter your thoughts? Do you even know what that means? I mean, I know you know what it means, but like,
I thought it was that Keep Toss Donate.
uh, it's more like acknowledging or paying attention to it and not discounting it. Just like, yeah, that's not for me. Oh, that would be, more like stopping it before it gets into a big thought or a story. Like, but I've been doing that a long time, so it's more. I don't even think about it a lot. Like, but I just want to be aware.
hey,
I
I
think
have
I'm
an
just
idea.
putting myself in
Would you
check.
be okay making that a healing, Linda?
Sure.
Okay, so anybody who wants it, you would say, Spirit, if it's in my highest good, please allow me access to Linda's thought filtration and ladder to platform travel path, but conducive to what I need. Jenna says she loves your I almost said she loves your hookers because that's her last name. She loves your dimples.
Sorry.
Angelina Kisses You says, yes, that makes sense. I was really good with acknowledging my thoughts, but now I have suicidal thoughts. I need to let you know, Angelina, everybody has suicidal thoughts. Sometimes they're really loud. Sometimes they're quiet. There was a time in my life where when I had them come over me over and over and over again, it was not just how to do it, why I should do it, but what's the cleanest way to do it. And that was something that stuck out to me. So when I thought about the suicidal thoughts, what's the cleanest way so it's not a mess for someone else to clean up, is led me to a past life where I took my own life inside my sister in that life's bathroom and she had to clean up the mess. So sometimes the intrusive thoughts of that, a lot of the times, are from past life, past life things that are coming up. So instead of being like, I'm horrible, I'm bad, that's all I can think about is I don't want to be on this planet anymore. What does it look like when you're in your thoughts, when you're doing it? What action are you taking to do this? What what's the emotion behind it? What is it that triggers it? Thinking outside and around that thought puts you back in the driver's seat and in control of it. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? Like, okay, so like, Kate, can I talk about yours a little bit
As long as you
from
don't say
the
what it is.
past?
Yeah. Like what
No, I
caused
won't.
it. Yeah.
No, but there was like a time, fairly recently, in the past couple of years, where Kate had a looping thought over and over and over again, and I finally went, Kate, when you see yourself doing this, how do you do it? What are you doing to do this? And then she explained it, and I said, okay, well, why aren't you doing this part of it? Like, what makes, and then we broke it apart that way. Or like my kid, when they talk to me about this sort of thing, I reassure them, like, we all think about it
Mm.
at least once,
Because
if not
it's
more.
always there. It's like it's always an option, and it's like, but it's not the best one. you know.
Right. And so I don't know. Linda, have you ever had, I mean, you've had it before, but like, I don't know if you'd feel comfortable talking about that. But they said their thoughts overwhelmed them. Let me go
Mm-hmm.
back to what they said before I went on my tangent.
Oh, if it's overwhelming, that it's God. I don't want to say it like that, but it's a past life. I'm saying like
They used to be good with acknowledging their thoughts, but now when they acknowledge their thoughts, it's too much and they want to end it.
I hate telling people their truth, but it's like screaming at me like that is a past life.
I got the same, but I mean, that's all well and good, but if it's overwhelming, they're not going to be able to look at it
Mm.
necessarily so easily. I'm not saying that they're not going to be able to, but it's really hard when you're in it
Yes.
to look out of it.
Yes.
And it's really hard because people will be like, oh, just buck up and just, put some sunshine on your face and put a smile. And it's like, no, fuck off. That's not going to work. Yes, I just needed the reminder. I know it has to do with the past life. I can't bring myself to go by myself. Understandable. Understandable. You can ask to go before those thoughts take over in a past life.
Oh.
It, I'm just saying, because like when I go into a past life to heal something, sometimes it's so much that I don't know what's going on. I'm going in this life and I'm not trying to.
Well, it looks like it's in a bathtub. Spirit of the nice good, please activate the closing statements to that. Because it's done. You're already saved. God, I guess I went in there too. Spirit of the nice good, was activate the ripple healing to that, was activate the speed up healing to that. Ugh. Somebody was screaming in my ear. Jesus Christ. Spirit of Science could please speed this up again at 10 trillion years or however long necessary.
It started to copy and paste throughout timelines, and it started hitting me in different timelines.
Oh. Spirit of Science could please copy and paste this to the residual. I don't know. I guess somebody didn't want you to live, so that's another part you need to look at in that life. So, because they were real
It's
mad.
someone they know
Yeah.
in this current
Real
life.
mad about you being saved. Anyway.
Hey, Angelina, can you do me a favor real quick? Can you say, Spirit, if it's in my highest good, please unbraid my soul's DNA from anyone who does not belong.
Copy and paste all that.
Yeah, it's potential.
And again. And again. I got you chose the wrong friend. So that's weird. Not you. They forced themselves upon you.
Okay, I just want to make sure Angelina's okay, and then we're probably gonna like,
Go.
yeah.
You look so fancy with your nails. Just like doing everything, like throwing up. You're just like,
Gross.
it is.
So gross.
Like, oh my god.
I have a session with Kat on Sunday. Oh, that's usually what happens. Something comes up in a live before a session. I don't know why that happens. It just does. Okay, real quick again, Linda, you not just like thank you, that's what people do when they close, but like seriously, so when people want to get into where do they start? They need to listen to their intuition, which is hard. When they get that feeling they need to separate from someone, they need to. This is a recap of it. And a lot of your stuff you find on TikTok, you pay attention to those songs that bring up emotions in you. What do those emotions mean? And those songs keep looping until you satisfy what was creating them, and then they release. You go to who you're drawn to. You actually now in your lifetime where you are in your current life, even though this was 6 months ago, you're financially secure enough to be able to go out and do the things and feel things out. There are a lot of people that are not financially secure and need to do the healing and are driven to, but they feel like it's pointless because everybody charges for everything.
Even questions.
Yeah, even questions. And like, there's a balance. I'm not saying not to charge because, of course, I charge for stuff. Kate charges for stuff. But, there is free resources out there. So besides just scrolling on the For You page, I got from you, if someone makes sense, if even one video or you hear their name and it catches your ear or your eye, you go to their page and you go look through, right?
Yep.
You don't take it
Yeah,
on just one video and scroll. You deep dive.
yeah.
And then you go, this is for me, this is not for me, right?
Uh-huh.
So any of you that are like trying to do your spirituality based off of like whoever comes on your For You page, when they come on your For You page, like when these people are like, I've got a message for you. If you don't feel connected and you're just like, you're on my For You page, so my team must have put you here. That's not necessarily the case. Go in if you feel connected and go through their stuff. Go look. If it's just one video that stands out to you, you'll know that that is not for you. If you dive in and there are people I know when they find a video of mine, they'll go They'll scroll like 3 times on my feed, go to a random video, watch it. Okay, I'm going to go to this random video over here. Okay, I'm going to go to this playlist. And then they end up watching a series and they're like, done. And then they follow me. And I can see it because I can see them like do the likes.
That's
And I
funny.
know Linda, like before, I noticed you guys' this chokes me up. I noticed you guys' faces or your names on my notifications. I look through the notifications. I'm always looking through notifications. I can see what you've liked, what you haven't liked. You know what I mean? Not what you haven't liked, but like what you liked, where you've been. There are people that sneak. They don't always like everything, and they still watch. But I can feel them. But that's neither here nor there. But I see Linda will go in, and we'll talk about something, and then she goes and she finds it, and then she watches that series and goes, well, I'm already here, I might as well keep going. And she just goes until she's done with that playlist. So you have found a way to navigate really well with all the free resources that are out there, and like find the people that you're like, okay, I will book with them. That's the person I will book with. So even if they might not have the funds and the means, if they follow that formula, they can find a lot of good stuff for themselves, or even book recommendations from people that they really respect, or TV shows that they really respect people, or things like that. There are ways out there, but you guys have to get on that page where you don't just blindly believe that your team is sending you everything.
You know what's really interesting too is if somebody has more than 500,000 followers or a blue check mark, I will automatically discount everything they say. I know that's horrible, but it's like I know in my head if they have that many followers, they are paid to say everything. They're going to say what gets them the most views. They're going to say what gets them paid. They're going to say things like that. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah, but like I've had an OG account. I don't use I used hashtags for like this last month, but I already got a thing that I'm not supposed to again because it ebbs and flows, and I just listen, I go with it. But I'm at like 80 something. Like I don't know what it is right now. But all through quarantine or pandemic or whatever, I was at like 40 or in the 40K area. But I have an OG account. What if mine grew? Like, what if one day all of a sudden everybody was like, Kat's it, she's the new thing, and then I get a blue check mark or some shit.
I just don't, unless TikTok changes and that timeline changes. Right now, I've found that every single time to be true. Because I'll check, I'm not just like blindly like, this is, no. It's like I'll sit there and be like, okay. And then it'll still be the same. So I'm hoping it's not like that at some point in time that will heal or whatever. Like the ripple will go. But that's just
And
what I
honestly,
do.
guys, the majority of people that I work with that like we have great sessions and stuff, not all of them, but the good majority of them that I connect with for the long haul might not even have any videos. Like they they might just be the people you talk to in the comments. You find a creator that you really vibe with, and the people that are in the comments and you see their comments, that might be your people. And that might be the person that you needed. Find someone who has the same weird as you, that vibes with the same people that you vibe with, and like follow each other. See how that goes. Any parting words, Linda?
No.
Thank you, Linda, for coming on here and answering questions. And yeah,
You're welcome.
this was a lot of fun.
I really enjoy you, Linda. Thank you so much for coming into our life. Not our live, but our life.
Aw,
Yeah. I'm not sappy either, but I really do. I really like you.
I like you too.
We
Okay,
talk
for
about
now.
you and
And if our
stuff.
if our ladders one day do not go together anymore, then it will be that. But for now, I enjoy being on the same ladder. It's good times. All right.
Thank you, Linda.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.